Hello ladies and gents, this is another quick video brought to you by Ant's Hood, and today's video is going to be about my Pheidole noda and their new rubbish outworld. Well, it's not new, I've had it a while, but it's rubbish and you'll see why in a sec. But before we go into that, let's take a look and see how they're getting on. This is their current outworld. As you can clearly see, it is nowhere near as busy as it used to be. And up to the point of seeing this, I was going to put the S5 Wakooshi nest, that's the Gen 3 stuff, which is that super huge massive outworld that I've got for my solenopsis for these guys. But because they're not as busy in here anymore, I decided against it, and I'm going to put them in a temporary outworld until I can get a bigger one for them, because I desperately need to move them out of this outworld because it is disgusting. If you look into the back, you can see there's a big pile of dead and rubbish, and that's why it's disgusting, and it is painfully difficult when they're en masse in here to clean it out. And I really wanted to put them into a new outworld because this is disgusting and just generally needs a good clean. So as you can clearly see as we pan around, that they're nowhere near as busy as they used to be. Now I think I've had quite a bit of a die off at the moment, but I'm not too concerned really. This is the bottom nest and this is the top nest. Let's get a macro lens on the bottom one. Now one thing you will notice is it's nowhere near as busy as it used to be, and we'll have a look at that pile of dead soon, but you'll see there's lots and lots of queens in there, and as you can see here, there is nowhere near as many queens as there used to be. There is definitely more majors compared to a ratio of queens than it was a little while ago. Now if you've not seen my previous playlist on these and the number of queens I have, check out the top right corner now. One thing you'll also notice as we pan round is there is brood in this bottom one where there wasn't a massive amount before, but there's some fresh eggs as well, which I'll point out in a sec. But generally speaking, it is very much emptier than it ever has previously. This is why I think I've had a bit of a die off. Now, like I said, I'm not too concerned about it. I have got some fresh eggs. Are they fertile eggs? Don't know. Like to think they are, because there's plenty of brood in different stages. So there's definitely still a reproductive queen in here. That looks like a dead queen to me, but she'll get moved out into the outworld soon, I'm sure. But if you also notice, I've got some wing queens and males, as you can see both in this shot, so this starting to pick up. Now I am limiting their protein intake to try and reduce the number of queens that I get, but at the moment that looks like a batch of eggs there. Oh yep, fresh eggs and a bit of larvae, groovy. Like I said before, I'm not concerned about the die-off. There is plenty of eggs being produced. There is nowhere near as enough queens, like I said, but the ratio of workers, especially major queens as well, is a lot better than it used to be, which makes it a bit more sustainable when it comes to this colony. But it is a little bit disheartening when you do see wing females again, because you know the situation that I was in with them, because you've just checked out that playlist. And as we keep on panning round, like I said, it's a bit dirty in here, but it's nothing to overly worry about. There is a bit of staining, but there's not big piles of rubbish in here, which would start being a bit of concern. But unfortunately, when we check out this top nest, you'll see they have started piling dirt. And this is the top nest here. As you can see, they're pretty much in the same situation for numbers wise, but if you remember, this is the left hand side of the nest as you look at it, and there was never much brood over this side. I don't water this side because I give them a gradient, so that might be why there's not too much, but that's that pile of dirt I was talking about. Now that is a bit concerning, but also I'm not overly looking at moving them out of this top nest because they've started to stack dirt. Here's the brood pile, which is a lot more healthier than it was down on the bottom layer, or the bottom nest as it were. There's a male just flexing his wings, showing off to the girls, I bet. Anyway, so I'm not too concerned at the moment for that dirt pile, because the bottom nest is nowhere big enough to support all these workers and brood, and I don't think that the top one really needs replacing. I'm more than happy to leave it as it is. I think once the dirt mounts up, they'll probably move it into the outworld, which they periodically do. So yet again, not overly concerned. But there is some fresh eggs up here as well, which I think is just there. But there is also different broods in different stages, which is called. Cool picture of the major there, actually. That's quite impressive. Now this is going to get confusing, so bear with me. So that bottom outworld there is the Wakooshi Gen 3 S5 outworld. As you can see, it's huge. Now the top one is the second gen S3 outworld. Now you can see the size difference is massive. And I was actually going to move my noda into the bottom one, but because they've had a die off and stuff like that, and really need that big outworld for the solenopsis, I've decided to move them into this. This is the high-tech ant medium outworld. Well, it was the medium outworld when I bought it as part of an overpriced bundle a year and a half ago. I did review this product. I'll put a link in the top right corner now. But if you go onto the website with the exact same spec, this is now the small outworld. So obviously he's updated some bits and bobs on it, such as the connectors are slightly different. So he's updated them, but fundamentally it is the exact same outworld, just with some slight updates. And I will tell you why I think it's rubbish, but in fact I won't tell you, I'll show you, but that'll be a bit later on. Let's crack on with how I went about this move. Now, I completely forgot to record the first bit where I disconnected it, but don't worry guys, in true ant style, ants went everywhere and I spent ages picking them up. So yeah, that's just the ants hood way. But as you can see, I'm picking some up there, and you can still, in fact, you can start seeing them running about now actually. But yeah, this will be prevalent throughout the whole of this transition from the old outworld to the new outworld, and yeah, it's just a pain. You might be asking, why did I not just connect? Sorry for the shaky cam, guys. It's just the stand that I use. It's a bit pants, but it's cheap and I'm cheap. But so you might ask, why did I not just connect the new outworld to the setup currently? One is space. I don't have a lot of it. Two, I am going to be connecting my solenopsis up to the S5 outworld soon, and I need the space. And three, it would take them forever to move out of the old outworld, but they wouldn't fully do it. So I thought I'd take advantage of it while they're not too busy in there now, disconnect it and move them all in by hand, which you will see me do. Now, as I move it round, you can see it's obviously got that old style connector, which is, I need to put some blue tack on the top of that actually to make sure it doesn't pop off for any reason, because it is quite loose. And as you can see here, I've still got, oh, excuse me guys, I can still got some ants there that are attached to the cotton wool, so I'm just gingerly picking them out, and I'm going to drop them in, if I can pick them up there, and drop them into the outworld. What lovely hands I've got. And that was a joke, by the way. I was just highlighting the fact that I am rubbish with camera skills and I can't even keep my hands out of the way of the camera. That was just a joke. Now I have sped this up because there's no need for you to watch it in any great detail. You've seen it 1,000 times, me connecting it up. Ants going everywhere, as you can clearly see here. And I'm trying to police them up while I've got it connected, not realising they're still getting out because I've not pushed it on properly. So yeah, now like I said, it's true hood style, to be fair. Sorry for the camera, it is what it is. I am no expert. I am no Ants Hollifer, who is absolutely amazing with his footage. But anyway, I'm just an average Joe guy that films his stuff. Wow, that's going to make me dizzy. This is the old outworld. I've actually removed the blue tack because it was holding in the tubing, because the tubing had changed sizes. Wakooshi didn't realise at the time, and he corrected that issue, obviously, but it doesn't really matter anyway because he doesn't use tubing that big anymore, regardless. But anyway, so all I do is tap the ants out from the tubing into the outworld, and ants were getting everywhere, as you would expect they would, but I was picking them up and dropping them in as I went along. Now, this became a prevalent problem because, unbeknownst to me, they were getting out. Now, originally I thought it was just on the barrier because they were crawling on top of it, and I reapplied the barriers in the corners in different areas, as you might see me do shortly. I can't remember because I spent 10 minutes filming this bit. I reapplied the barrier to stop them getting out, but when I went downstairs for scoff, because my missus come back from work and stuff, I came back and there was Pheidoles running around everywhere again. So they were obviously getting out. The lid was on. I don't think they were getting out past the lid, so I couldn't figure out, for love nor money, why they were getting out. But luckily enough for me, when I was sitting there scratching my head thinking, how the deuce are you guys getting out, an ant showed me the way, and I'll show you what I mean. So you guys be the judge of this. I know it's a year and a half old, but I still don't think this is on, and this is why it's a rubbish outworld. I mean, the acrylic is even that suspended that much, to be fair, because it's not very long, but clearly, as you can see now, look, let's just watch her pop out, isn't she, little squeezing out. Look, everyone else is like, hey, she got out, man, check this out, she got out, are you guys coming? Because I want to go out and party in Hood's freaking ant cave, see what mischief I can cause up. Is anybody else coming? Yeah, I'm coming, mate, don't go without me. Yeah, let's go. And the party starts. So make of it as you will. It's not a very big piece of acrylic, but it clearly has warped enough for my Pheidoles to get out. I know Pheidoles are smaller ants. Look, they're off looking for the party room. Look, I picked them up. Oh, I dropped a friend off for them. Now, I know full well that obviously Pheidoles are small, but they are still bigger than solenopsis geminata. So if the Pheidoles can get out, geminata are going to have a field day. Now, I know you guys are going to say, contact high-tack ants, they'll replace it, I'm sure it won't be an issue. I'm going to call bullshit on that, because if you do check out my review when I first got the package from them, the Nest and the Outworld, the Nest warped. Now, it warped because apparently, according to him, I washed it in too much hot water. No, bullshit on that as well, because I washed other products, my hands are in there, my hands aren't made of asbestos, and they would have melted if I put them in anything that would have overly warped the 3D printing. Don't forget, I do 3D printing myself. I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. So do you think he offered to replace that and said, sorry, Hood, yep, off, here you go, we'll replace that, happy days? No, did he bollocks? What he did was said, oh yeah, okay, it's warped, that'll be £7.50 plus postage. Well, thank you. I paid 80 quid for a product, the Nest is a bag of shit, and this Outworld, which I originally thought was good, is clearly rubbish. Now, I know what you're saying, well, you're a Wakooshi fanboy. Yes, I am. I always speak honestly about Wakooshi stuff. If I think his stuff's crap, I will say it's crap. If I think it's got room for improvement, I will say it's got a room for improvement. This has got room for improvement, but we're talking a year and a half down the line and he hasn't overly addressed the warping issues, which I'm sure out there, I am not the only person that's had warping issues for this. It just isn't on, because people, kids, new ant keepers will come into this hobby, they'll say, wow, this kit looks cool, I've seen it on Tinterweb, it looks really great, 80 quid mum, Christmas present. Yes, you can. Get ants. Lagus nigers are roughly the same size as the Pheidole workers, so they're probably going to get out, and they're the most common starter species. So if they get out, then they're going to be ants running all over the place. Mum's going to lose her shit, and she's going to say, you're not keeping ants anymore. Or the kid's going to get really disheartened by it and stop keeping ants. So it's important that we call this kind of rubbish out. Disappointed is an understatement. Now, despite my ranting, I've got nothing else to use for them, so I'm sticking with this. I've just used sellotape to seal up the edges. Now, just to finish off, this is my experiment where I separated queens from the Outworld and see what would happen. It's the second time I've done this, and yet again the eggs don't seem to develop. They lay eggs but they don't develop. Now, I don't think they're eating the brood or anything like that due to stress, because I have got them on a shelf where they're not left with vibrations. I don't really check them that much, I just feed them and leave them to it. So I don't think it's that case. Now, this is the confirming experiment. I am going to keep this ongoing for a little while longer, but I think the results are pretty clear. But that's it for today then, guys. I'm sorry about my ranting. I just went off on a mad one. But I'd like to take this time to say a big thank you to my Patreons. And they are Adam W, Adrian, Antantics, Anty Matters, David D, Jason W, Kevin R, Paul A, Pavans, PJGrant, Wakooshi. Thank you very much, guys. But that's it for today then, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye for now.